Hello and welcome back to another episode of A Cozy Christmas Podcast. I'm your host, Art, and I'm so glad to have you back again. One of my favorite parts of Christmas, obviously, is reading and telling stories. And when my kids were young, we had so many favorite children's stories we read at Christmas time. My guest today is the author of the new children's story called The McBrights, and it tells the story of a family of Christmas lights that get their Christmas plans and really their whole life upended when they are deemed to be too old and out of date to decorate the town Christmas tree. So this story is great for kids, but it has a lot of themes that I think even an adult can connect with. The author, McKenna Johnston, will be my guest here in just a few minutes. Another book I wanted to recommend was another new holiday picture book called The Candy Cane Forest by Lindsay Ann Fink. And in the book, the readers are whisked away to the North Pole to discover the magical secret behind Santa's sweetest treat. After Christmas, when every candy cane has been shared and savored, Santa's elves get busy planting peppermint seedlings that grow into a sprawling candy cane forest. With warmth, whimsy, and just the right sprinkle of Christmas magic, Candy Cane Forest reveals how the elves lovingly tend their sugary crop to make the next holiday season even sweeter. Now, I don't know if I'm going to have time to have the author on to talk to her about this story, but I did want to at least mention that. The marketing team sent me a copy of the book, and I honestly really enjoyed it and thought this would also make a great story. Okay, with that, let's go ahead and jump into my interview now with McKenna Johnston, author of The McBrights. Welcome to the Cozy Christmas Podcast. I have a wonderful guest on today. She's written a new children's picture book called The McBrights, and it's about a story about a family of Christmas tree light bulbs that is just very sweet and charming, and I think young children would love to be read this story, especially at Christmas time. And so her name is McKenna Johnston, and she's my guest today. McKenna, thanks for joining me on the Cozy Christmas Podcast.
Yes, Art. Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah. Now you are a new writer, I saw, and you teach fourth grade, you told me. So
yes,
you've got that elementary school energy, I can tell.
Yes, I absolutely love it. So I am, oh goodness, let's see, I'd have to add the years, but I began teaching in 2017. And I love it so much. That is one of my biggest passions, is teaching reading. And so it was always one of my goals to write and publish a children's book that I could not only read in my classroom to my students, but also my own little girls at home too.
Yeah. As I mentioned about my wife, she's a reading teacher, an English teacher.
Love that.
Middle grade, or middle school. And boy, she's always trying to find books, like anything I can get these kids to read. I'm looking for anything.
Yes, and we teach in fourth grade, we hit on figurative language a lot. And so I love the book, The Day the Crayons Quit. And I was like, one day I am going to do a children's book on personification. I don't know what it's going to be about, but I'm going to do it. And it just so happens that Christmas is my absolute favorite time of the year. So it was very fitting and natural that it kind of just went into that theme.
Yeah, definitely. There's an aspect of, and I'm probably jumping ahead here, but there's an aspect of the ending of the story that I really liked, but we'll just leave that as a teaser for now.
Okay, yeah, that sounds good.
But yeah, love the story.
Thank you.
It the way you personified all the different light bulb characters. You got a little family. You've got the mom and dad, grandma and grandpa, little sister who.
Yes.
Uh, I really laughed over the line about where it said that she had to go pee again. And it's like.
It's so funny that you say that, Art, because I have gotten that over and over and over in my own little girls. So I have two sweet girls. One is 3 and one is 1.5. So we're
Mhm.
in just like that prime fun of Christmas
Yeah.
time and a blast. And we read this story often. And when I first wrote it, that was the part that got my oldest every time. She's like, oh my goodness, why does Bessie have to go pee? She thought it was so funny. And now, anytime I read it anywhere, I just had a parent tell me the other night, they're like, that, my little girl was so concerned about why she was stopping to go to the bathroom. And a part that I thought was not going to be like a huge part of the book, I find hilarious that, that's what they love.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I'm a grade school boy at heart, I guess. So bathroom humor appeals to me. But
Yeah,
no.
right.
But the what really entertained me was the way my brain trying to figure this out. Like, how this is a light bulb. Why do they even need to use the bathroom? Okay, I'm thinking too hard about this.
Yes, yes. And that's what's so much fun about it. And what I enjoy doing is there's so much creativity that can go into that. I was
Yeah.
doing a read aloud so I'm from Southern Illinois.
Hmm.
I live in Benton, which is near SIUC, Southern Illinois University. Go
Hmm.
dogs. So I'm in a very rural area, which I think you're Midwestern
Hmm.
too. Is
Yep.
that right?
Yep. I'm in Iowa. Yep.
Yes, awesome. Okay. So I'm from a small town of Benton. I teach in the small town of Heron. So I've been going around to all these little schools and doing different read alouds and libraries. And I just did one this last week. And the part in the book where it says, that Bernie loves his dad's good cooking. And we'll talk in a second about who Bernie is.
Hmm.
But he's a light bulb. And in the parentheses, it says, light bulbs don't only need electricity. And it's so funny because the kids really think deeply about it. They're like, okay, so what does he need? Like, is
Hmm.
he going to get food? Does he eat what we eat? And that imagination can kind of just run wild. And I love that.
Yeah. I was thinking about how the stories that personify inanimate objects.
Yes.
If you they're not meant to think too hard. Like, how does that work? Don't think about that.
Right.
But it just does. But it really helps create imagination, especially in little brains. That
Yes.
um, is so needed.
Absolutely. Yeah, especially this
Yeah.
day and age for sure. That's, one of my goals as a teacher is think creatively, think critically, think
Hmm.
on your own, and see where it takes you.
Hmm. Yeah. And so let's go ahead and introduce us to some of the characters in your story. You've got a young bulb who's the main character and his family.
Yes. Yes. So family is extremely important to me. Near and dear
Hmm.
to my heart. I love family. I love family time. Um, and my faith is also extremely important to me. That kind of goes into the why behind this story.
Hmm.
So you have a family that is strung together. They are light bulbs. Think of like, I think that now this was before my time, but I think they were called the C9 light
Hmm.
bulbs. The story is set in the 1960s era with those big glass bulbs, the red, the yellow, the orange, the green. And I've just always thought those bulbs were so fun. And
Hmm.
I love them. I just like them a lot more, than the literal littler bulbs that we typically use now. So you
Hmm.
have a family of these light bulbs that are strung together. Bernie is our main character. He has a little sister, Bessie. She's got a little bow on her light bulb, and then you've got mom, dad, aunts, uncles, cousins, and it makes reference in the book to, everybody's family is a little bit crazy, but that's what makes them so fun.
Hmm.
And the story goes through a journey about their life together as a family. They have always lit the town square Christmas tree. And we can talk about the inspiration for that in a moment.
Hmm.
And they find themselves in what they think is a disaster as they are no longer needed for this Christmas tree. They're becoming outdated as light bulbs, getting closer to the end of the 60s, as light bulbs are becoming a little bit smaller, a little bit different. You've got the bubble bulbs coming in,
Hmm.
rotator lights. And they're just distraught. Like, what are we gonna do? We're light bulbs. Our whole point is to make this town come together and bring hope on Christmas Eve. And so it goes kind of through the journey of what they do together as a family to figure that out.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that, that this is a problem we're facing together as a family. And, if you want to think deeply about a children's book, here's a good thing. Don't, the science behind it, don't worry about it. But the what it's teaching about how, the family comes together to solve this problem or whatever. That's, I think, where the story really resonates.
Yes, I hope so. And you know, um, Jesus Christ is my Lord and Savior, and I want to keep him in the center of everything that I do.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope that when people read this book, although it's not, specifically about the Lord, it's not specifically a Christian book,
Mm-hmm.
but there's definitely undertones of faith and hope throughout it that, if you persevere, if you lean on the Lord and you trust in his guidance and his provision, you will get to maybe not where you think you need to be, but you'll get to where the Lord wants you to be.
Mm-hmm.
And I just think that's extremely important. Bernie and his family, they thought that they were where they needed. They were very upset. And, how many times does that happen in our own life where you think you're right where you need to be? And it just so happens that that's not the Lord's plan. And I will not spoil the end of the book because I want kids to read it.
Yeah.
But I will say, when we get to the end, it's Bernie finds himself in an even better place than he could have imagined. And so I used a lot of faith undertones in there. And Bernie kind of reflects a lot of my own life. I just turned 30. This was like a big year for me.
Mm-hmm.
I know 30 is still pretty young, but I'm like, oh gosh, like we're getting older now.
Yep.
And just going on that, I finding my identity in Christ, my purpose in life. And that's kind of what drove the character of Bernie. Is Bernie was taken out of, no, this isn't going to be your purpose anymore. Well, what is it going to be? How are we going to redefine that as a family?
Mm-hmm. I mean, it actually, honestly, it felt like my life this year. we with just that,
Yes.
doing one thing, and then we had a big change in our life, and we moved and all that, and it's like, okay, well, here we are, new place. Am I doing what I'm meant to be doing, and all that? And I think I mean, that's a common theme with a lot of people.
Yeah. And that's what I hope people can see from it, that they can
Yeah,
pick that out of it.
yeah, definitely. And but it's not done at the expense of the story. It's just a wonderful story that can be enjoyed on its own merit.
Thank you so much. I had a lot of fun writing it. This was my very, like I said, I've always liked writing, but this was my very first book that I ever wrote. I published through Blue Balloon Publishing. They've been wonderful to work with.
Mm-hmm.
My illustrator, I really could not have done it without him. His name is Adam Bean, and he's from
Mm-hmm.
another small town in Southern Illinois. And I wanted somebody local, and I wanted somebody to hand draw the pictures and just have raw, real talent. I did not. AI can be wonderful, props to it. I love it in so many ways, but I wanted this to be from a person's imagination. I wanted it to come from my heart.
Mm-hmm.
And bless him, he was so patient with me. He would do a page and he would send it in, and I'd say, "Well, I like this one part, but change these 12 things." And he would do it, and I would just be amazed and blown away every time he came back with something. even better than what I could have envisioned. And without him, there would be no Bernie. The story wouldn't be what it is, and those characters would not be what kids, are loving right now and loving today.
Yeah, it's gonna be my next question, asking about the illustrator because it, I don't know, it looked, the pictures looked different, not in a bad way.
Yeah.
There's something about the style of it that just was very captivating and colorful, but not in a style that I'm used to seeing either.
Yes, and that's what I wanted. I wanted it
Mm-hmm.
different. I wanted it to not look like every other children's book. I wanted it to be fun, a little bit silly. We put some colors in there and some hues of like those blues and pinks. If you think back to the 60s and you think of like those pink kitchens and some of those colors in there. And as far as the way that the people are dressed, he did a really good job. He nailed it of captivating just that timepiece of it to show where the setting was and what time it took place. And everything that he did really just intricately was woven together, and it just was pretty seamless. And I was very, very thankful for that.
Yeah, yeah. It obviously with a children's book, especially, you want to have good pictures because that's what's going to capture their attention
Oh,
in a
for
lot of
sure.
ways. Yeah, I read so many books to my kids when they were little, to the point where many of our favorites I had memorized just
Oh,
because.
same, same.
Yeah. um, but one thing I enjoyed about that is um, looking at the pictures because I love creativity like that, and this book certainly has just gorgeous illustrations to
Thank
go with the
you.
story. Yeah.
Thank you. You mentioned reading to your
Mm-hmm.
kiddos. So,
Mm-hmm.
my youngest little girl has cystic fibrosis, and it kind of makes you think, well, what does that have to do with reading?
Mm-hmm.
Well, she has to wear a chest compression vest for 30 minutes twice a day. And if you're familiar with cystic fibrosis or what that does in creating extra mucus, that chest vibrates and she has to be sitting upright or standing for 30 minutes twice a day as that mucus gets broken loose in her body. Well, my husband and I were very determined. We're readers. We love to read. I'm a
Mm-hmm.
teacher. My master's is in reading. And we're
Mm-hmm.
like, okay, TV's great. Our girls are going to watch TV. That's fine. But we would really love if we could use these 30 minutes twice a day, this 1 hour, just for reading. And
Mm-hmm.
so we have really trained her. She's a year and a half now, and she definitely gets a little antsy. We're getting a little
Mm-hmm.
older.
Mm-hmm.
But my husband, God bless him, he is wonderful. He does almost all of her airways with her, and he will sit there those 2 30-minute stretches a day and just read. That's all they do is just read together.
Mm-hmm.
And that was another big inspiration is not only do I want something to read to my girls, like I specifically have a little girl who doesn't have to read every day, but she's really in the predicament to where she needs captivating stories. And she gets to the point now you pull out a book and she's like, nope, no, like,
Mm-hmm.
because she's read them so many times.
Yeah.
Um, and that was some inspiration behind that as well.
Mm. My and I know I've told this story before. I don't remember which podcast now, but my middle son, when he was, I want to say probably 2 or 3, he loved The Very Hungry Caterpillar, that
Oh
story,
yeah.
and he had it memorized. So we have this video of him, reading it to grandma,
Yes.
and he couldn't read. Obviously, he was just reciting it because he knew it, and he was reading it or speaking it in the way that we did when we read to him. He was just mimicking our voices, and oh, it was so cute. Yeah, it was just really precious.
It is. It is so precious. And then, if people don't know, I'm sure they thought you had a little baby genius, a
A
little
little
baby
genius.
genius on you.
Yes, that's right. Well, now he's 21 years old, so I'm trying not to think about that too much.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You
I
grow
can't
up.
go there. It goes by too
Yeah.
fast.
Oh, it sure does. It sure does. Well, this sounds wonderful. Now, do you have plans to keep writing more? I know this is probably just came out, and that's maybe down the road, but
Right, right. I've been asked that question a lot. I probably not in the near future.
hmm
It has been so much fun, but like I said, family is extremely important to me. And I right now, like, and it's not that we're doing a ton of traveling or anything by any stretch
hmm
of the imagination, but I bring my girls and my husband with me everywhere I go. So when
hmm
we do read alouds and signings, and we stay local, of course. But I'm kind of looking forward to some rest in the new year and
yeah,
just taking some time to um make sure that I'm in the word, make sure that my faith is where it needs to be in my relationship with the Lord, make sure that my family is my number one priority. And so I would say it's definitely not out of the cards for the future. I
hmm
know some people would like another McBright story, so we will see. We never know. We may find Bernie on another adventure someday.
I mentioned about the end of the story, so maybe a little minor spoiler alert here if you have kids who might be listening or something. But
Close your ears.
um, yeah, that's right. Close your ears. But I love that they keep the lights up all year round now. Like, yeah,
Yes. Well, and that's what like I just, I think of
yeah,
Bernie as he's like a real person and
right,
he's
right,
hyped up. He's like, man, this is the life. Like, I really thought that people only did this in December. He had no
right, right.
idea.
Well, as somebody who has some kind of Christmas decoration out year round, whether it's subtle or not, I approve. I highly approve. So good for him.
I I love that. I am not one of those people who has like a tree up year round
Mm.
but I am always extremely fascinated by the people who decorate their tree for Easter and 4th of
hmm
July and all the things and leave it up. And I'm like, props to you. It's beautiful. And I've always just thought that was a cool thing to do, even though I don't do it. It's always been something I enjoy to see.
Yeah, yeah. Our Christmas tree is a pretty good sized one, so it takes up a lot of living room space.
Same.
And
Yep.
and my wife, you know, she's like, okay, this has to come down now. It's been up too long.
Yep. And
And
then you take it
that's
down, and that's one of the saddest parts
oh,
is
I
your house
know,
feels so empty.
I know. Yeah, now and we're gonna have to put all those little lights back in their box, and
I
it's
know, I know.
yeah,
But hey, just, if you read the story, it gives you some hope that they do have fun in that box.
that's right. Yeah, so that that was good. As you mentioned, you're an elementary teacher. I my wife's a teacher. I work at a school right now. I know kids can be pretty unhinged this time of year. How
That's a beautiful way of putting it.
how are you handling teaching and all the craziness with the kids just getting more and more excited for Christmas?
Absolutely. I have the best class. I teach fourth grade.
hmm
Fourth grade is my jam. It's my sweet spot. They're old enough to follow directions, but they're still little enough to care to please you.
hmm
They don't have that full attitude yet as they're going into junior high. My class this year, they have been my number one supporters. I have one student in particular that has came to almost every event that I have had.
Oh,
They are so excited. They tell everybody that their teacher's an author. They lined up when the book was released on November 11th. Within a week, a lot of them, their parents, which is so kind and gracious of them, ordered their children the book. They did not have to do that. And the kids were lined up in front of my classroom with their book, just smiling so proud as I walked in that morning. And it brought tears to my eyes. I'm like, these
I bet.
kids, they love so hard. And there is nothing like teacher tired in the 3 weeks before Christmas. And I was just telling my husband, I'm like, this is so much fun. but oh my gosh, I'm exhausted. I feel like I've been hit by a truck.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't change it for the world, and I come home and I do the same things with my girls and the activities with my girls. And my goal is that I hope that we do things that they will have memories for the rest of your life. A lot of times in teaching, we can get so caught up into test scores and grades and
Mm-hmm.
standards and skills, which are all things that, as a teacher is a part of our job and to help them
Mm-hmm.
learn and grow cognitively. But I really do take these times and these moments, I make the best of them that I can because they're not going to remember the standard or the skill. They're going to remember, that a parent came in and helped us make an ornament together that we can hang for hanging of the greens, which is something my school does that's super cute.
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah, we've been having a lot of fun with it. We finish up some testing this coming week and then it's like game on. We've got some Christmas parties and
Mm-hmm.
all the fun activities coming.
Throw a question out at you here. A lot of times students will bring their teachers little Christmas presents and things. Um, what, as a teacher, what do you think would be a great little gift to receive from a student versus if I get one more of these things, I'm going to scream?
That's hilarious. I really wondered where you were going with that question. That that could have that could have taken several different turns.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
so my teacher heart is anything that comes from their heart. Like, honestly, I love when they just draw me a picture with me on
Mm-hmm.
it in a Christmas
Mm-hmm.
tree and Merry Christmas, Mrs. Johnston. And anytime they put their heartfelt work into it, I had one girl one year, and I don't even really know what this is called, but she would make like little coasters and just different
Mm-hmm.
things out of it. It almost looked like plastic, but she would like marble it. And, I have no idea. Last year I had girls who were really into crocheting. They would bring their hooks and, crochet at recess.
Mm-hmm.
Anytime I get something like that, I'm going to keep that for a lifetime. I mean, that just means the world to me. Um, as far as like something that we get a lot of that I'm probably like, I have enough of these to last me the rest of my life are coffee mugs. And the
uh,
hilarious thing is I do not drink coffee.
oh,
And so that's what's so funny. But I love that it comes from the heart. Like
yeah.
anything my kids give me, I'm going to be thankful for. I'm going to go nuts about it. I'm going to make it a really big deal. Even if it's a rock with a painted face on it outside. Whatever it is, I'm going to be pumped about it. But it is hilarious because we have a plethora of mugs in our home, and me nor my husband, drink coffee.
Hmm.
I love hot chocolate, and so we use them at Christmas time. But that's one of my little girl's favorite things is I bring home my truckload of mugs in December. We go through them. She looks at her favorites. We put them in this special place, and then she uses them. She puts a little straw in them and drinks chocolate milk and things from them
Oh,
throughout the
fun.
year. So it's kind of a gift that, keeps on giving, gives to my children too. They like it.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, well, yeah, that's something I know my wife and I have struggled with about what to give teacher gifts because we,
It's
she,
hard.
it is, and we want to show appreciation to the teachers, those who have taught our kids, because they do the Lord's work. I tell you what, and
It takes a special heart for
yeah,
sure.
it does. But we don't want to. Oh, like another thing. Okay, great, thanks. But um,
Yes, I love too like baked goods. Like if people
oh yeah.
but see, I'm not a baker, so that's
Mm.
probably why I like it.
Yeah.
Anytime a kid brings and he's like, "Oh, we made these," and I just think that's so special because I love Christmas, so I imagine them just around the kitchen, or maybe this is
Hmm.
just like my fantasy of what we do at my house, but I just imagine them with their families around the kitchen table, making memories together, making treats, and then being able to pay that forward, that love to other people.
That's what we found. My daughter who's in high school now, but she loved doing arts and crafts and stuff. So we would always try to get her to make like a handmade ornament or something for her teachers, and
I love that.
like paint a little picture on it or something, and try to help her with that. And yeah, it just I agree with what you're saying, that I think that personal gift really goes a long way. Although, as my wife would say, a gift card to Starbucks, that would work too.
Yep, Target. Anytime I get a
Yeah.
Target gift card, I'm like, oh, bless you. Like that. That
Yeah.
is so nice. That's,
Yeah.
those are great too.
Yeah. And see, I'm a big coffee drinker, so we've probably got too many mugs, but we use them, and I leave
Yes,
them.
absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's just the season to buy our teachers presents. So, well, thanks for your
Yeah.
input on that. Maybe that'll help somebody out, panicked parent out there, to uh, give them some guidance on what to do. So,
Yes. And some teachers, with Pinterest and things now, some teachers send out, like I send out a thing at the beginning of the year, a meet the teacher. And I have several friends who do this as well. And they put like their favorite candy, their favorite drink, their favorite this. And it's really for the
mhm,
kids to get to know you. But I have had parents who have saved that sheet and have gotten me exactly what that sheet says for holidays. Like I put M&Ms are my favorite, and they'll bring
mhm,
bags of M&Ms, and I'm like, that was so thoughtful for them to like look at that sheet and actually, read it. I always think that's so nice, and I've noticed teachers doing that as well. Not necessarily, expecting to get a gift, but just it's been
right.
sweet seeing parents who like take that to heart and are like, "Oh, these are the things your teachers like."
Hmm. Yeah, and I love actually filling out things like that. Whether or not I get something, I love getting presents. Let's be honest, but
Oh, yes.
yeah, yeah. But it's such a fun way to get to know someone. Which would be a great segue here to talking to you about some of your Christmas traditions and things. So let's see. So you've got two littles. Christmas is probably from about here on out is going to be getting pretty hectic and crazy and excited. Um, what what Christmas traditions do you and your family do that you just love doing every year?
Oh goodness, we do a lot. So
Yeah,
one of my
great.
favorite things is we definitely keep Christ at the center.
Mm-hmm.
So we do a lot with Advent. We have these Advent blocks, and there is a number on each one, and with each block there is a story from the Bible that leads you up to Christmas. I think I could be wrong. I think it starts in Isaiah, with
Mm-hmm.
the prophecy of the Messiah, and then it
Mm-hmm.
it continues. And my girls love that. They flip the blocks every day, which, if we're honest right now, they more like to just like throw the blocks and build the blocks.
Uh-huh.
But we'll get there. But you flip it and there's a picture, you read a Bible verse with it. That's something we enjoy doing. One of my favorites is, so um parents of little ears, maybe pause for a
Mm-hmm.
moment. um we do not do the elf on the shelf.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the things that we do that I really enjoy is our wise men travel around our house to Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
So our wise men start out by our back door, and baby Jesus is not in our nativity scene until Christmas Day. And the wise men travel and they do silly things, and my daughter thinks it's hilarious. Like, they were laying in my shoes yesterday. They were eating cookies the day before as they're traveling because they're hungry, and they'll eventually make it to the major scene. And that has just been like, it's a hoot watching her find them in the morning. And oh my gosh, mom, they're gone again. This is crazy. Like, she's running around trying to find them. And
Yeah.
it's just hilarious. So that has been fun.
Yeah. I had someone on just recently who did something similar with the wise men like that, and that it was just a lot of fun to see what they're up to. Um,
It's a blast. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. We a few years we did the Jesse tree, if you're Advent, if you're
Yes.
familiar with
Yep.
that. And I know my wife read from somebody online wrote something and she would read it from them. I can't remember her name now, but and then that had like little paper ornaments you could cut out, and we had a special little tree we hung
I love that.
each.
I have heard of people
Yeah,
doing that, and that's something that's definitely on my list to do. We're in a season right now where I feel like we have so many traditions
yeah.
that, we get to the end of the day and my little girl's like, "Mom, we didn't open our prayer box." And I'm like, "Well, we did, we did pray. We did talk to the Lord today, but yes, we forgot the prayer box that magically has marshmallows in it.
that's
That's a big
that,
hit
that's it. Yeah, I think I know why. Yeah. No.
for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, we would find yeah, stories to read to them. And let's see. Oh, we also didn't do Elf on the Shelf, but we did Flaky the Naughty Snowman. And
Oh, love it.
and this was, I want to say it was around the time that Elf on the Shelf came, or we actually were doing that a little bit before. But my wife found this little stuffed snowman. So most mornings, not every morning, it started to get to be a little old after a while, but he would do something funny overnight
Yeah,
or something naughty, and the kids would come down like, "Oh, what's Flaky done today?" And find,
that's great.
he got into the cookies or he drank all the eggnog, and
And they just think it's the bee's knees, or at least
yeah,
my girls do. They get a kick
yeah,
out of it.
yeah. Oh, it's so funny. One of my boys, I think it was my middle son again, but he was just like, "Are you and Mom moving Flaky, or is he real? I think he might be real, but maybe you are moving. Maybe you're doing it." He's like trying to
That's
put this
oh, and
all
that makes
together.
me Art, we can't talk about that. That just makes
Okay.
me so sad because I'm like, no, we can't get to that age. It's just,
Yeah.
it's so magical for them and just so
Yeah.
much fun.
Yeah.
And I think there's a way that you can beautifully interweave, make it about Jesus, make it about Christ,
Mm-hmm.
but also let their imaginations run, and
Mm-hmm.
just let them have fun with that.
Yeah.
And I think there's a way to do both for sure, but keep
Mm-hmm.
Jesus at the center.
Yeah. Yeah. And as a parent of older kids now, I mean, my oldest just got married, and so
Oh, how
we've
fun.
got new traditions and everything. I'm sure it changes, but it can change for the good, or for there's still fun to be had, obviously.
That's what everybody says. Yes. It's like, and I can see it because every new age, I'm like, oh, this is the best age.
Yeah.
Oh, this is the best age. I just keep
Yeah.
moving it up with them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But yeah, there is something about just the child's imagination and joy at Christmas time that is so fun to be around.
I know.
You
You just
know?
want to capture it. You really
Yeah.
do.
Yeah. But I mean, I love stories and reading and using my imagination, and so any chance, being around kids and watching all of our favorite movies or whatever, it's really fun. But
Absolutely.
it can be crazy.
Now I have to ask, what is your favorite movie to like sit down and watch at Christmas time?
Well, I've got a couple. I will usually watch some version of A Christmas Carol. That's
Yes,
my favorite story.
love that.
We really like the Muppets Christmas Carol. That might be my favorite, but it.
You know what? I have never watched that.
Oh, okay. It's pretty
That's
good.
kind of crazy. Well, that's on my list. That's on my to-do list
Yeah.
tonight.
Yeah. It actually, it's got Muppets in it, but it actually tries to be a pretty faithful adaptation to the book. And Michael Caine is a wonderful Scrooge. He does a great job. We also like the Grinch, Elf. For more, on the more secular side, and my wife especially loves It's a Wonderful Life.
Yes,
We
beautiful
really
movie.
and I've grown to like that more. the more I've seen it, it's growing on me. So
I watched it one time and it made me so sad, but it also was beautiful. Like,
yeah,
it definitely it's one that pulls at your heartstrings for sure.
yeah. Let's see. I also really like the old Mickey's Christmas Carol. It's like a 25 minute little thing, but
Yes.
yeah.
My girls are obsessed with Minnie and Mickey Mouse, so we
Mm.
watch all the Minnie and Mickey Christmas from, all the way back from
Mm-hmm.
the whenever they began. I don't know when the first one was.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm not sure
yeah, I'm
either.
not
Yeah.
sure, but all the way then up to 2025.
Oh, neat.
Yeah, we enjoy
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Now, do you have some favorite Christmas movies?
The Grinch is my one of my all-time favorites. I have two. And then and I like the Jim Carrey Grinch.
Mm-hmm.
I know that's like not the most popular opinion. Everybody wants the original. But
I'm with you.
I just think Jim Carrey's hilarious. And
Yes.
I just think it's so much fun. I love it. And so the Santa Claus movies, the
Mm-hmm.
Santa Claus 2 is my absolute favorite. That's like my favorite movie of all time, which is so hilarious because most people haven't even seen Santa Claus 2 and they're like, "What?" Like the second one,
Mm-hmm.
which one
Mm-hmm.
is that? But I just, it's where he's trying to find a wife and they're, trying to find love and
Yeah.
I think it's great and there's just so many quotable moments in there that I enjoy.
See, I need to rewatch those. I love the first one especially.
Yes.
That came out, when was it? Like 90 something,
I was
94,
getting ready to say
95.
maybe mid 90s. Yeah.
Yeah, I was a teenager. I was a huge fan of Home Improvement, and
Yeah.
so
Tim
then
Allen, yes.
Tim Allen comes out with a Christmas movie playing Santa. I'm like, oh my goodness, this is like
I'm
the
there.
greatest
Yeah.
greatest present ever. Yeah. So I had to watch that. Loved it, and I've enjoyed the sequels, and I know I've watched at least one of the two seasons of the TV show Disney Plus just put out. But
Yes.
yeah, that first one was just, oh, it's so good, and I love how Neil in that role of the stepdad, he's not like a bad character.
Yes.
They don't go that route. They make him a good guy. He loves those kids, and
I
or
know.
yeah,
Yes.
or the one kid anyway. And yeah, and it was just really sweet, really well done. I would probably say, if I only see three Christmas movies, it would have to be, the Santa Claus, and then Jim Carrey's Grinch, and then probably Elf.
I love it. We also, I think it's on TNT, but we also every year, and I've done this since I was a little girl, or at least as long as I can remember, we have the Christmas story. It's on 24 hours
Mm.
with Ralphie. We
Oh,
love
mm-hmm.
Ralphie in our house, and which, I mean, my girls aren't old enough to watch it yet, but my husband and I really enjoy that too. That's just a classic, and it runs all day on Christmas and never goes off. And that's kind of been a tradition to always have that on in the background.
Yeah, no, see, that's a movie I just haven't been able to get into.
Yeah, I get that. I hear that a lot.
Yeah, but I figure, well, I like Jim Carrey's Grinch, and a lot of people don't, so I'm not gonna judge them if they don't judge me. We'll make it.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Carrey's Grinch is 25 years old now. That's this year.
That's
Uh,
crazy.
yeah,
That makes me feel old. That is crazy.
I about had a heart attack when I heard that. I'm like, you mean because I could have sworn I saw it as a teenager, but I'm like, no, I was married when it came out. Oh no.
That's hilarious. Yeah.
Yeah,
Time just flies. It's so important this time of the year. I'm like just
yeah.
in the busyness, just trying to soak it all up, soak every
Hmm.
moment up. Because it's the best. It's just good. But I also know too that my heart goes out to people who are having hard times as well.
Hmm.
That this can be a really hard time of the year for people too. We recently just had a loss in my immediate family,
Mm.
and it's going to be a hard one. It's going to be very hard for my mom and other family members. And so that's the first time I'm kind of seeing that side of it as well.
Hmm.
Um, but just clinging to the hope of Jesus in those times too is really what's gonna get us through.
Yeah. And I've had some guests on in the past just to talk about, what do you do when Christmas is hard? And because it is hard at times. And I've been in a stressful job where, Christmas is just like you're in a constant state of panic because your work is so stressful, and that can ruin, any kind of Yuletide joy you might have.
Right. Put a
Yeah.
damper on things.
Right. Just a little bit. Yeah. I really appreciate how, especially my wife has been so good at really kind of being that center where she comes up with all these great ideas about how to just how to celebrate,
Ah,
even in simple ways where you don't have to be elaborate. And, things like lighting candles, when you read like that night's Advent story or something, it's just a simple thing, but it makes it so peaceful and beautiful that
and memorable for
yeah,
sure.
yeah, if you're experiencing a hard time, just for a while we just really were financially just poor. I mean, to be honest, and
Yeah.
so we found things to do that didn't cost money that we could do as a family. We would just go to like Home Depot or Walmart or somewhere and look at their Christmas decorations. Just or drive around town.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and
Just put a smile on your face for sure.
yeah, you gotta make sure you tell your kids we're not here to shop. We're just here to look. And just catch the Christmas vibes. The Christmas joy. I also I remember when my stepmom passed away. It wasn't near Christmas, but that Christmas was my dad. He really just kind of wanted to be left alone. I mean, not in
Yeah.
like a Scroogey Grinch kind of way, but they loved Christmas so much. I mean, when I would visit them as an adult before I got married at Christmas time, and they would still tell me, okay, you got to stay in your room until we come and get you, on Christmas morning. And
That is great. I hope that we do that with my children. That's wonderful.
they would show up in our room, ringing jingle bells, and my dad was wearing this ridiculous T-shirt that had Santa on it, and he had a pair of boxers on over long johns, of course, but and there are these Christmas boxers that had Santa Claus's face just huge right on his backside, and
That's hilarious.
they loved it so much. So it was a really hard couple of Christmases for him. But what he did is he just tried to keep things quiet and calm, and he watched a lot of their favorite movies and just remembered her, and that meant a lot to him, just to be able to have at least 1 or 2 years of just being kind of quiet, and that was okay.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
beautiful story. And we're always in prayer this time of year for people who are financially struggling,
Mm.
struggling with the loss of someone, whatever it is. The holidays have always brought great joy for me. But
Mm-hmm.
as I get older, I realize that that is not everybody's story,
Mm-hmm.
but I think that it could be. How can, just like you were saying, how can we come up with innovative ways to um, try to turn the holidays around
Mm-hmm.
with, regardless of our circumstances?
Yeah, yeah. Even making cookies, visiting some shut-ins or somebody that might not be able to get out at Christmas time, just
Mhm.
popping in, and you've got little kids. They love little children, so
Yes. Caroling, we like to carol with our church at the like assisted livings.
mm-hmm.
That's always fun, and just it fills your heart full of joy and just a grateful heart reminding you what you do have and are blessed with.
Yeah. So some great ideas here to help celebrate the season and spread the joy and love of Christmas. I'm getting excited. I think I might need to go bake some cookies, I think.
Yes, I know, right?
Now, I love gingerbread. What do you have a favorite Christmas cookie?
Okay, I do not. I love the smell of gingerbread. I love the look of gingerbread, but I do not like to eat
Oh,
gingerbread.
That's all
Um,
right.
my husband's my best friend, high school sweethearts,
Oh.
and we spent years trying to find a cookie recipe that was good. And my husband actually is a wonderful baker, and he's very good at cooking and cooks all of our meals. Like
Mm.
he's incredible. And we finally, a few years ago, landed on this wonderful sugar cookie. It's like a thick sugar cookie recipe, and he makes homemade icing that he puts on them out of powdered sugar
Hmm.
and different things. And those, I think about those all year long.
That sounds really good.
Yeah, they're incredible. We had a lot of bad though before we got to that one. A good sugar cookie is hard, and I
Yeah.
I never knew that, but I'm also like that's not my thing. I just throw stuff in a bowl and I'm like, "Hope it tastes great." Um, and he's very precise, and so
Mm.
I'm glad that he nailed that because I am reaping the benefits.
There you go. That's great. Yeah, my wife makes some great cookies. I've started baking too, and I've really enjoyed that. And we get now to enjoy the fruits of our labor here soon. So,
Yes, it's the best
uh,
time for that. Calories don't count, right?
that's right. I'm sorry. My daughter was texting me. She's ready to get picked up from work. So, anyway, this has been so fun talking with you, McKenna. I really appreciate it. Do you have a website that people can go to find out more about your book? And
Yeah, so the McBrights, you can find it anywhere books are sold. If you look up the McBrights on Amazon, Walmart, Barnes and Noble, you will find it. We have a McBrights page. It's called the McBrights on Facebook, and we're kind of
Mhm.
posting our whole journey there and updates there. So we love for people to follow that so that way they can follow along with our story. And we're just so grateful for anybody who even listens to this or anybody who has supported us in any way, shape, or form. We could not thank our friends and family enough.
Christmas is a holiday for stories, and I love it. Just reading these books to kids make memories for sure.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, thank you for having me, Art. This was a wonderful time, and I'm really glad we got to do this.
Yeah, me too. Thanks for coming on, and I hope you and your family have a Merry Christmas.
Yes, you too, Art. God bless.
All right. Thank you, McKenna, for coming on. Thank you for sharing your wonderful story with us and your journey and all that goes on in putting together a Christmas story. One of my favorite things about Christmas are the Christmas lights. There's just that visual of lights in the darkness that not only looks beautiful, but it gives me a little bit of hope too, as it reminds me of the prophecy of the Messiah from Isaiah 9 that says, "The people walking in darkness have seen a great light. A light has dawned on those living in the land of darkness." And I love just that visual of hope. And so whenever I see Christmas lights, I'm reminded also of how we can live, right? Being that light in a dark world. It's going to sound corny and cliched, I'm sorry, but we, I think, need to be a light of kindness, of Christmas cheer, of hope, whatever it might be. So this year, I hope you get to see plenty of wonderful Christmas lights. One of my favorite traditions is driving around or walking around town and just looking at the Christmas lights. That is a really fun activity that you can do, especially if money's tight. Just take a walk through town. Go to a neighborhood that has Christmas lights and just walk and talk with your family. Put your phones away and enjoy each other's company and be the light in this world. All right, that'll be all for me today. Thanks again to McKenna for coming on. I want to recommend her book, excellent gift for kids this year, as well as The Candy Cane Forest by Lindsay Ann Fink. Another really sweet Christmas story, no pun intended. All right. Thank you so much for listening, for all that you've done to help support the podcast and everything. As always, in the show notes are ways you can help further support the podcast. And with any financial donation, I'll send you a Christmas card and a podcast sticker. Details are there, as well as where you can find these books and the author's websites and all that. I'm going to go see if I've got any candy canes left that I can enjoy while I sit under the lights of my Christmas tree, snuggling my dog. And until next time, let's remember to honor Christmas in our hearts and try to keep it all the year. Have a very Merry Christmas.